Oh, okay. Oh, we got a call. Oh, we got a call. One sec. Tone. Oh, okay. It's Tone. Yes, what you saying, brother?
What's good, bro? What's good?
How you doing, man? How you doing? Thanks for calling in.
No problem.
Yeah, it's great to have you, man. So, basically, yeah, obviously we've just done a documentary with you as well, so, which we thank you so much for featuring on the first episode, man. It means a lot.
No, I appreciate you having me, man. We've been talking for a minute.
Trust me.
Figure out what you want us to do with your platform and how I wanted to come back to the industry and music. And we definitely figured it out.
For real, yeah, man. And people are loving the documentary as well. Like, honestly, since we posted it, so many people have come through wanting to know how they went about it, who you are, and yeah, they've been listening to a lot of your music as well. So it's obviously it's working well, and like I said, it's really great to have you in the first episode as well, because we've been talking and kind of like, but yeah, we've been talking about this for a while. So yeah, obviously we're going to ask you a few questions, kind of going off the documentary, if you're cool with that.
Yeah, definitely. Actually.
Dope. So obviously in the documentary you mentioned that you're always listening to beats. Like if you're not listening to like this review show or Low Mo reviews, you always listen to beats. What is it you kind of look for in an instrumental from producers? Like, is there any sort of kind of like, does it need to meet like a sort of a level for you, or anything about the beat specifically that stands out to you that you know that you catch a vibe on it? You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, I feel you. I mean, for me, it's depending on whatever mood I'm in that day. Not to take it into make it a serious mood right now, but I mean, I suffer from bipolar depression, so
okay.
Like, one day just be extremely hyper and in a great mood and want to write some cheery girl pop records.
Yeah, for real.
I can come out of nowhere and want to write some real grudge hip hop, like. So it really depends on my mood. It changes every day. And like recently, I sent you in the record I did, the Hennessy Thoughts. Like,
yeah,
that was a beat that's a beat that I would have never thought I would write to, but that day it just came across my phone, and it hit home with me, and I ended up writing that record to it.
That's cool. So would you say like you have like a favorite genre you work? Because you're quite a versatile artist. Like we've heard so many of your tracks, and like the beats do vary. So do you have like a favorite genre you prefer to write to? Is it just kind of like as long as you're feeling
or is it just a mood thing?
It's really just a mood thing. Like I have rock songs. Like I said, I've sent you guys at least 60 songs already.
Yeah, trust me.
It's still like another 40 that you guys haven't even heard yet.
Damn.
Oh wow, okay. So your work rate's mad, bro. Like how do you find the time to write all of the, like, so many songs, especially like, because that's another question I was going to ask you, like, how do you find the time to do all this with such kind of like a busy lifestyle? Because you mentioned in the documentary you work like 2 jobs and you're a father, so like how do you balance that?
Yeah, I mean, so I have 2 full-time jobs. I work 80 to 90 hours a week, and then I got my son. He just turned 3 years old. So I mean, honestly, I don't sleep. On average, I get about an hour and a half to 2 hours of sleep. And like I said in the documentary, like everybody has their vice, their choice of drug, their high, and music is really my high for me. Like that's what keeps me going. That's what keeps me awake on the drive from one job to another. So there's like an hour.
Can I ask you a question?
Yeah, go ahead.
Sorry, I just going back to you open about your mental health illness. I suffer with BPD myself, and I would say music's my therapy. Would you say that like music does that for you?
Definitely. Like I was just talking to someone recently, and people are trying to get me to stop writing and focus more on the music that I have, because I have so much music. And they're like, somebody said to me, your next song is always going to be your best song. So with that being said, every time I write a new song, the last song that I said I was going to focus on kind of goes out the window, because now I'm focused on this new record.
Yeah.
It's really hard for me to stop writing because it's so therapeutic for me. Like,
yeah,
I can imagine that gets quite hard at like times, man. If you're constantly kind of pumping out tracks and each one gets better, it must, like, if you're doing a music video for like a track that you've done like 3 months ago, does it ever get kind of like, yeah, is it hard to kind of like because sometimes it's hard to push something when you kind of, especially if you made something you want to push more. Does it ever get like that, or?
Yeah, I mean that's kind of where it's at right now. Like, so the track that I recently did, I mean now it's probably a month or two old. Is Grudge.
Can't wait to hear that.
And we decided, based on all of you guys' feedback, me and my team decided that was going to be the single that we're going to shoot the video for. So,
yeah,
cool.
I've seen some glimpses of the video.
Really?
Man. I can't wait till you drop this. The video is so dope. Like you've got a whole like. I don't want to give too much away. It's not my place. You know what I mean?
No, don't say anything.
It's dope. It's dope for real.
That's what I'm saying. Like I invested the money. I invested time. I shot the video, and like since we decided that we were going to shoot that video and do that project and focus on it, I've written like another 10 songs. So I'm honestly already over Grudge.
We're all now getting on it, and you're past it. You've already dealt with that.
That's mad, bro.
Everybody thinks like I'm always trying to rush everything, and it's like, nah, I just know myself. Like if I say I'm gonna do it, I need to do it like right away, or I'm not gonna do it because I'm gonna move on to the next record.
For real.
And also, obviously, when it's so therapeutic, and it's your like when you write lyrics, it's like getting it all out of you, isn't it? Like you were showing me your lyrics that you wrote earlier that really like and when you're somebody with a creative mind that obviously moves as quickly as you do, clearly from your job and having like a small child, like because I've got a child the same age, my little boy is 3 as well, like you know, that's a lot of work. So yeah, I can imagine like being able to
it must be hard. That's crazy, man. Like it's sorry,
I caught myself the other day. I was at work and I was just having one of those days, and it was just an off day for me. Everything was just bothering and frustrating me.
I hear you.
And I started I was like writing like in my head. As I was at work, and then I caught myself telling myself like, "Yo, stop writing, focus on Grudge. You got to finish the video." Caught myself going back and still spitting and freestyling in my head, and that's when I realized I'm like, "Yo, this shit is therapeutic for me. I can't stop writing. Like I'm just gonna write."
Yeah. Tino Sasa says I feel him on that. TJ saying, wow,
people are resonating.
Wow, 80 hours, geez, how does he do it? Vaudeville says, I totally understand TDR on this topic. And Gareth says, here. Yeah, man, I think people are definitely resonating with what you're saying. And actually, there's another question. There's a couple more questions I want to ask you. But who would you say your like biggest inspirations? Because you've got your own sound, so it'd be interesting to know who your biggest inspirations on your journey have been, like music, not even just in music, just in life, you know.
So I come from a music family.
You're down.
Somebody me the other day, like 4 days ago. Somebody comes to me. I guess they were doing their research, and he comes up to me. Yo, can I ask you a question? I didn't even know this person knew me as like TDR. Like this is somebody at one of my jobs. He's like, "Can I ask you a question?" I'm like, "What's up?" He's like, "Is it true that they introduced you on stage and told the crowd to boo you?"
Oh wow.
I'm like, yeah. How you know about that? He's like, I saw it on YouTube.
Oh wow.
I'm like, well, yeah. So what happens is my father was like a big time DJ back in the day.
Yeah. I mean, you've mentioned this. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, like I submitted the records, I submitted the video. So like they were my uncles, my father, like they were big back in the day.
Wow.
So like there's a video out there that I was performing, and it was introducing me. And in the introduction, like before I walked on stage, like the dude said his father's one of the best in the game, his uncle's one of the best in the game, so he don't have no right to make mistakes. So if he's whack, we booing him off the stage. And then they on the stage. And like that's just the pressure that I've always grown up with.
That must be so hard.
Yeah,
like that's crazy.
That's mad, man.
Yeah, like you heard that's my father at the end of the documentary.
Yeah. That was a cool. Yeah, and the thing is, he sounds like he really does support what you're doing as well. Because I remember you mentioning before that section, you were like, he always wanted you to be a DJ, and it was. So sorry, yeah. What were you gonna say?
He bred me since a baby to DJ. Like he had me on a turntable. He had me doing blend. He taught me how to blend when I was like 6 years old.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
So, like, whenever I would get punished by my mother, she would take the TV, take everything. All I had was turntables.
Oh, okay. That's cool.
Stuff. But it got bored for me real quick because it was easy for me because I did it since I was a little kid.
Yeah.
Writing for me was therapeutic for me, and at the time I didn't understand what was wrong with me or why it was that. It wasn't until recently going to therapy and everything that I understand that I've had these issues since I was a kid. I just never. So that's why I think writing music resonated with me way more than DJing. I was able to express myself a lot more.
Self-expression.
Actually, we've got one of the listeners ask you a question which kind of goes off this. What keeps so Camille's saying, what keeps TDR going hard with the work rate? What keeps it motivated?
My kid, man, just making it's literally what it is. It's my kid. I live in the Bronx, New York, United States. Anything you research about the Bronx, it ain't a pretty place.
Yeah, I've been past there on the sub.
Yeah, because you've been to New York.
Yeah, I've been to New York. Yeah.
Yeah, that's mad, man.
That's about as pretty as it gets over here. I mean, it's fine for me. I grew up here. This is home for me. I can live here forever and have no problems.
Yeah.
But I want my son to grow up here.
Okay.
But that's where the drive goes. Like, honestly, like, there's days that I want to quit because I hate both my jobs, and I'm the manager at both jobs as well.
Okay. So not only do you work that many hours, you're in charge of people. Okay.
Crazy.
And I got to deal with everybody's attitudes and
damn
different personalities.
So if you're having a bad day inside yourself, you then have to deal with that as well as trying to keep on top of your music, mate. Congratulations.
How's you doing, man? You're a hero, bro. It's crazy.
And like I said, there's days I want to quit. Like recently, I'm like, yo, I don't need both. I could just do one. I'm tired of this already. Like, but then like I said, I think about my kid, and before he's turned 5, and before he starts like school, I want to get him out of the hood, and I don't want him going to school where I went to school. I want him to go to a better community. So that's
big up you, man. The world needs more fathers like you, bro. For real, man. That's big up you, man. That's crazy. But okay. So there's one more question I wanted to ask. I mean, obviously, I think we're gonna get some more through from some of the people in the live, and Dee might have something else she might want to ask you. But
to be fair, I could go. Yeah.
I could just. But I wanted to ask: is there anything like any projects coming out right now, or anything in the pipe work that you kind of want to mention for people to keep an eye out for, or?
So I got the Grudge video is coming soon. I got the first draft last night. There's a few little touch-ups that I need the director to do. Yeah. I'm planning on having that out for Halloween. And then, like I said, I have over 80 songs that I haven't released yet.
That's crazy, bro. That's a mad catalog.
I'm sitting there on 10 feeling overwhelmed.
Yeah, everybody's telling me I should focus on singles and do like a video every song I put out instead of doing like a project.
Bro, that's a lot of videos. To be fair,
that is a bit of a debate going on. People's like people are either want like in two minds over whether to do full projects or these days just do the singles and stuff. But I think there's something to be said about doing a project. Yeah. There really is, and you can get kind of
like, honestly, I dropped the project about a year and a half ago. Mm-hmm. It's on Spotify, Apple Music, everywhere. It's called I Hope You're Listening.
Yeah. Very nice project.
It wasn't until I started, like I got introduced to your show and Dakota's show. That
shout out to Loma
on that going up. Yeah, shout out to Dakota. That the views on that started going up. Like I literally on Impatient, which is and Want to Know, which is some of you guys' favorite.
Yeah, I was about to say I love that song.
Yeah,
it was like 6 views on it before I got introduced on your show.
Oh wow, okay, that's
crazy.
But that's the debate. Like, if I want to keep on putting out projects and that aren't really getting heard, or do I want to build traction with singles? Like,
yeah, I think it's a mix of both. Like, I mean, this is just kind of
with
from personal experience.
With work ethic, you can do both.
Yeah, exactly. And it's all. I think it's all about the timing of release and like the timing of not just releasing the project, but the media around the project as well. Like in the day and age of social media, like everything is a potential marketing tool. So like when it comes to Instagram and everything, yeah, I think when it comes to singles, it's a lot easier to make a single pop off. But then with a project, you can make a larger impact to you and build a fan base more with a project. I think, because it gives you room to kind of do media and talk about more of a story for the whole project as well as just a single. And in the day and age where everything's kind of like quick attention spans as well.
Yeah, and also like when you do like a project, obviously you have a few tracks on there that you know are like your singles, if you know what I mean. But like the tracks that everyone else calls the fillers, for me on the album are always the ones that give me more of the personality of the artist. They're more like you get more information from the filler tracks, if you know what I mean. So I personally prefer an album or an EP so I can get more of an idea of where that person's at with the whole thing.
That's interesting. I never thought of it like
That's how I look at things, because people, on an album, say of 12 tracks, you might release 3 or 4 as singles. The rest of those tracks on there, to a record company, might not get as many views on the radio, but there's some real stuff in there. There'll be more the personal things that the artist itself has gone, okay, but that's still going on the album. Do you know what I mean? So I feel like you can get a lot more emotion that way.
Yeah, definitely. Oh yeah, okay, so Tina, on that subject, Tino says singles are the gateway to getting your fans to get familiar with you, which is, it's a good point.
Visual album. I like that idea.
That's a dope idea. Yeah, Mercedes says documentary or visual album. Okay, so yeah, Mercedes says
I agree.
Do what feels good to you. Do what you're led to. You're dope, and just because other people move one way doesn't mean that's what's on the cards for you.
I was thinking that same thing, because it's like what singles might work for one person, but Tone, your work ethic and
so consistent.
Yeah, you could literally do whatever you want.
TJ says TDR is a king. Philip says Terminator.
Yeah, that's
the
my
rapper.
favourite comment. TDR is now Terminator the rapper. I can't handle.
But yeah, man, honestly, I think people are definitely feeling what you're saying, and like I can relate, because I know I can relate to what you've been talking about for sure, especially with the whole single stuff and even the mental health side of things. Like, it's honestly, it was great. I think having you as the first episode was perfect as well, man, because you've got such depth and such a big catalogue of work as well to kind of go off. So, like, again, thanks for coming on the show. Thanks for calling in today as well and talking to everyone, man. Like, it's been great kind of getting to know you a bit better.
No problem, man. Thank you for your platform. Like I said,
Anytime, bro.
I stopped rapping for about 3 years until one morning I woke up and somebody tagged me in your show. Ironically, I don't know how. And I remember the first record I sent to you, TJ didn't like it.
Okay. Oh yeah, good old TJ.
It was the Cry record. I cursed too much apparently.
Oh, okay. Yeah, Cry was dope. I like Cry, to be fair. Cry was hard.
You gave it a pretty good rating, but the people in the audience didn't really like it too much.
Okay, yeah.
Maybe it was early in the morning. It was one of the early morning shows.
Yeah.
But that definitely got me a little amped, because it was like, nah, I rarely have people say they don't like my music. I gotta make them like it now.
And you're like, excuse me, what?
Exactly. So that made me come back and keep submitting music. And
well, we're grateful you did.
For real. Honestly, man.
That's why I'm here now, like still doing it. Like I said, if it wasn't for you, Dakota, like your two shows specifically are the reason why I came back to doing music and went back to the studio.
Bro, that's crazy, bro. That means a lot. That's honestly why I started this whole platform. So to hear that, especially like from, that's crazy, man. Because someone as talented as you as well.
And to be fair though, Lewis, like behind the scenes, the amount of care and work you put in, honestly, even at like 1 a.m, the guy's still sitting there talking about work and thinking about work, and it's great.
Seriously, guys,
you guys work great together. And honestly, like, Tone, I just want to say, like, thank you for always being so authentic in your music, because you can feel it when whatever your song is, doesn't matter what the subject is, you can just feel that you're in that moment, and it's like it's just real. Do you know what I mean? So thank you for that. I've really enjoyed getting to know your music.
Yeah, seriously, man, it's been great. Honestly, I think we're gonna have to cut this short, because we're a review show. We ain't even started reviewing this song yet. But bro, seriously, thanks for calling in, and thanks again for featuring on the first episode of Up Next Undiscovered, man. It really means a lot, and I look forward to where things are going in the future as well, and hearing more from you.
All right, man. Thanks for having me. Thank you everybody out there for supporting as well.
No problem.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right, bro. Well, yeah, stay tuned in for the show. But yeah, we'll chat to you later, bro.
All right.
All right. Peace out. There you